What is going on, everybody? So today I want to answer a question that somebody asked me over Facebook. I've been actually asking people to give me questions, to give me subjects to talk about here on YouTube and on my Facebook videos. And people have been asking away. And this question was, how do you stay motivated to train? And it immediately dawned on me why I ask people to ask me questions. And it's because sometimes in my mind, because I've been training for so long, it's kind of like second nature to me. I automatically think that people are inherently motivated to get out there, to train, to do everything they can to keep themselves healthy, to keep themselves strong, to keep themselves lean. And I forget that a lot of times for a lot of people, motivation is a problem. And I think in many ways, it goes back to where people forget to start, right? And Simon Sinek has this amazing TED Talk. It's called Start With Why, one of the most influential TED Talks ever given. And he says that the companies that stand out, the companies that matter, they always start with why. They start by talking about why they do what they do. And that TED Talk had a huge impact on me. It's had, of course, a huge impact on the business world. Everybody's talking about start with why. But I think it matters here in the fitness world as well, in this realm. And I think that one of the things the fitness industry gets away from a lot of times is that we have to have a why. And how do they get away from it? Well, when we go on to, our major source of information for fitness related material, the internet and social media, what you see is people talking about getting shredded, getting abs, getting strong, building a 500-pound squat, competing in CrossFit, all these things. And I think that for the average person, many times, that's not a big enough motivating factor, right? If you are looking to get completely shredded, to have a six-pack abs, everybody wants these things, but are these things that you actually need, right? And I'm not saying that you shouldn't go for these things, but are these things that you actually need? And the reality is that they're all nice to haves, right? It's nice to have six-pack abs, but you don't need it to survive. It's not going to feed your kids. It's nice to win a CrossFit championship or a powerlifting championship, but it's probably not going to pay the bills. It's nice to have a 500-pound squat, but it's also nice to have a job and a career and all of these other things, right? And so I think that for the average person, when they see that type of motivating material out there on the internet, a lot of times they might get motivated for a bit. They might get motivated for a short period of time, but that's not going to motivate them for the long haul. For many people, they're seeking to lose a few pounds. They're seeking to be healthier. But the idea of trying to train for abs or a 500-pound squat is foreign to them, because they have their lives that they have to live, and they have other things that are more important on their plate. So the question is, how do we motivate the average person? How do we motivate that person out there who has their sleeves rolled up and who's out there really just trying to bring money into their home, or trying to raise their kids the best they can, or who is just trying to find success in other realms? And I think it goes back to that very question I started with. What's your why? Why are you doing this? And you really have to think about this, right? My advice here is that in addition to whatever goal you have, whether that is losing weight or getting stronger or anything like that, you have to attach it to some of your larger goals in life, right? Because the reality is that we're all human. We all live on this earth. We all breathe oxygen. Life is going to contain many different things. It's going to contain tragedy. It's going to contain work. It's going to contain jobs. It's going to contain family, expanding family. It's also going to contain family tragedies and hardships. And so you want a goal that's going to keep you going through all of that. And so one of the things that's really driven me into my older years, because let's face it, I don't come on here doing videos of myself, squatting 405 for repetitions anymore, or lifting extraordinarily heavy weights anymore, and I'm not up here flashing my abs or anything like that. So why do I continue to train? The reason why I continue to train is because I want freedom. I want freedom for my life. I want freedom for my life, not just now, but 10 years from now when I'm 50 years old, and 20 years from now when I'm 60 years old, and all the way up until the day that I draw my last breath. I want to live my life the way that I want to live it. I want to be able to walk on my own 2 feet. I want to be able to enjoy things. I want to be able to enjoy my kids and my grandkids, and I want to be able to enjoy the company of my wife for a much longer period of time, right? And so that is what drives me, not the present. I consider it an investment for the future and an investment into my future goals, because I'm not married right now. I don't have children, and I want to. I want to live a long, fruitful life. And maybe you are married. Maybe you have a career. Maybe you have a business. Well, what you have to understand is that the only 2 real assets that you do have in this life are your mind and your body, right? If either one of those goes, you can't earn money. You can't be the parent that you need to be. You can't be the partner to your spouse that you need to be. You can't be the business owner that you need to be, right? If you're not your best. And so rather than looking at fitness as a novelty item, rather than looking at your goals as these things that are nice to have, start to consider it as part of your training to be you. Be the professional athlete at being you in the sport of life, right? And I think that's what we all need as a paradigm shift as we get older. Once we hit, a certain age, all the getting shredded, which is a book I wrote, but the scary squats, all those different things, they begin to wear off in value, right? And maybe you're still into that, and I think that's awesome if you are. But again, attach what you're doing to something higher, something that's going to drive you forever. And at the end of the day, that's what's going to keep you in the game longer. That's what's going to keep you in the game in a smarter way, where you're not only looking after your strength and aesthetics, you're also looking after your health. And that's what's going to, at the end of the day, allow you to make your life better through fitness. So that's a brief bit of my perspective on this. If you want to learn more about that, you can definitely sign up for our newsletter at www.startketoright.com, where I have my whole philosophy laid out in a bunch of different downloads, along with a free cookbook and a complete guide to getting started on the keto diet. I'm also working on something new for those of you who aren't necessarily interested in keto, and that's going to be my new membership site for men who are over the age of 30, who are still looking to live their best lives through fitness, and that's going to be called the Warrior Solo Goji, and I'll have more on that in the future. But that's enough of me plugging myself. Get out there, get after it, live your best life while you can, and I'll talk to you later on this week.